So, man, that's a long clap. Easy, everybody. And that's the longest clap we've ever had for an artist. It's taking you forever to get here, dude. What's up? Do you hate us?
Yes.
Okay.
But I have Miranda and I bought a house here in south of town here a few months back, and this last night was about the third time I've ever even been there. And we didn't have power most of the night, and it's got these gates that you have a remote for or whatever. And last night when we got home after the CMT Awards, I don't know when you air this, so maybe last night when we got home after the party.
There you go.
We had to squeeze through. We had the gates wouldn't open, so Miranda and I'm like, push on it and I'll pull. So we had to get through the gates that way to get to the houses. They wouldn't open. And then this morning,
so you had to get out of your car and push and pull the gates to drive
just
through.
Enough, and to get my fat ass through there. And Miranda went right through there, but I had to I got hung up there a little bit. And then this morning I thought, well, it'll work because the power's back on because of those storms last night, and then it's still screwed up. So I had to call a guy and figure out how to manually open my fancy gates at the house.
When did you think you'd ever have that problem growing up?
I did a lot of trespassing.
Oh,
growing
so
up,
you have.
so I'm pretty good at
He's good at
taking
gates.
the gates right off the hinges if I need to get my truck in and out of someone's property.
So we had a special moment together at the iHeartRadio Music Awards. I received a kiss on the head from you. I think it was mostly a "Hey, let me go" kiss. Do you remember that at all?
Oh, absolutely.
One of your highlights?
And you had that extra uncomfortably long hug.
That's
Yes, the lingering
the
hug.
linger hug.
I mean, it was like, really?
Yeah.
This is on TV, and
It
he's
is.
doing this. Mm-hmm. I heard you talking about the kiss, or one of y'all was talking about kissing on the cheek.
Yeah, that's what I was doing to people.
Coming in. So that might have been where it started, because it just felt so
You
right.
kissed me, and then I was like, I get it now.
It feels good.
It feels
doesn't it?
good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Blake Shelton is here. So you grew up in Oklahoma. Were you the class clown? Were you the athlete?
I actually was voted class clown in our senior yearbook or the senior newspaper. There was both. They had it was almost like the ACMs and the CMAs. It was like, well, if I didn't get class clown in the yearbook, maybe in the end of your newspaper I'll get it. I think I might have had it in both.
Anything else? So your class clown, were you tallest?
Most likely to succeed.
Fullest beard at 13? I don't know.
I did get some. There was another one but I can't remember what most likely to be creative or something like an achievement award. Or it was
obviously it meant a lot to you, right?
It really struck it.
What was your house like growing up?
My house?
Yeah, like your home. Describe it.
Well, I grew up mostly in the country. I say in the country, just in a small town. Everywhere was in the country. Back in Ada, Oklahoma, was where I grew up, but when I was when I was about 14 or 15, my dad and I, because my mom and dad had gotten a divorce early on when I was a kid, and my dad and I rented an apartment right in town in Ada, Oklahoma, and I loved it. I mean, because by then I was driving, so I could drive and go fish or hunt or whatever I wanted to do, but I was right in town where all the girls were and parties and stuff, so it was perfect for me. I know, that's true. That's true. Wait a minute, I'm getting
Blake's gonna call.
text here.
Who's texting? Anybody cool?
It's actually says Luke Bryan.
Okay,
Oh.
we're getting a text right here. What do we say?
It says, we are at Pinewood Social. Please come, please. I want to bowl with you.
That place has a bowling
That's
alley
exactly
in
what
it.
it said.
Have you been there?
Oh, that's apparently this just came in. It must have been from last night because that's where we were last night. Unless he's still there.
Oh, that's funny. He might still be there. Yeah. And I actually saw you for a few minutes at the CMT Awards, and I was back with Luke. He grinds to warm up. He's right. I'm not joking. He was warming up, grinding, and I was like, "Look, you got to stop," because I'm sitting there, and we have to get all this crap put on our face before we go on camera, and he's right beside me, just grinding away, and I'm like, "Dude," hold on just for a minute, let me finish here. He's like, "All right, sorry, Babaloo, I'll get you in a minute. I'll get you in a minute." But that's like a physical activity he has to do, so he
doesn't pull
he doesn't
a
want to pull a
muscle.
muscle.
Hey, if there's anybody that well, I still make fun of him dancing. Don't get me wrong, but it comes from a real place with Luke. Luke is one of those guys. He really was, and would still if he could probably get away with it. He knows every line dance. He was one of those guys that would go to the Wild Horse way back in the day, and like in the middle of the day whenever they were having line dance lessons. You know what I'm talking about? So that later on that night when you got there, you knew how to do the electric slide. And
I used to take the class too.
Stuff.
I did too. Yeah. Did he do the extra? Guys do the extra stuff and think I was cool because whenever I would turn, then I would like do the extra heel kick.
What were you doing? The tush push?
I was doing all of them.
I
I took a college course just to learn how to line dance. And then I would go home and I would learn how to do the extra moves because when everyone was doing the normal stuff, I wanted to do the extra stuff. So if people would just do like step up and I would do step up, heel kick, kick, ball, change, yeah.
Way better chance of getting laid that night if you're throwing in all
the extra
that other
stuff.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Especially in college.
Yeah.
Good.
You agree?
No.
No? Oh, okay. No. When's like the most hectic time for you?
Oh, the battle rounds of taping of The Voice are hands down the busiest thing that I've ever done ever.
What's the day like when you do that?
Well, it depends on the season because they kind of go back and forth on how many people we start with on each team, depending on if it's a fall season or a spring season. Because I think the fall season is longer. I think there was one year where we had 16 artists per team starting out on the show, and so you got to pair eight battles, and you got to figure out 8 songs. You got to divvy up, the song for each pairing it and make it a song that wouldn't be a duet, and then you got to rehearse all that stuff, and you do 2 days of rehearsals per song or per pairing, and it's just unbelievable. I mean, you're just by the end of it, you don't ever want to hear another instrument ever again. I mean, you're just brain dead. It's unbelievable. And then you have people that are really good, and you have some that you thought were good that aren't, and you got to try to make them as good as you can, and it's rough. It's really rough. But that's why it's so exciting going through all that stuff, seeing Cassidy win that award, CMT award. It was like, oh my God, all that crap and something really awesome happened out of it, It's pretty cool.
The Voice is great, but when Colden win, I thought it was rigged. When
Vosbury?
Yeah. When he didn't win, they just didn't want you to win again.
Yeah, he came on the air the next day and proclaimed rigged.
I was rigged. The show is rigged because I called it from day. I said, this is by far the most talented guy who was on your team, and you had won, and you had won, you had won. I just think they didn't want you winning again because you were becoming the Miami Heat of The Voice. Do you have any comment?
Well, if that's true, I don't know. I mean, I don't think the show would be rigged. I think it would be more of viewers going, man, this guy wins every time. I'm just not voting for Blake and whoever he's got on his team, I guess. Because I thought Cole was.
He should have won.
There's never been anybody like him on the show since then, either or before then. So
I actually have a kazoo here. Do you think you could hit us with a little Honeybee on kazoo? Just kazoo? No singing.
Oh God,
Would you guys like to hear Blake play kazoo? Honeybee on kazoo?
Yeah. They used to call me.
Are you good at kazoo?
Blowing Blake.
Okay, here we go. Kazoo blowing Blake. Just give us. Here we go. The other side. No.
Oh, okay. It's been years.
Okay,
It's been a while.
It's like pulling out the.
It's been a hot minute.
No, you don't blow
this is
it.
An absolute piece of crap. This is the worst.
You do it like this.
Oh, you have to. Oh, yeah.
That's me.
I heard.
No, that side, the big end. That's it. Nice. And you're terrible at that. I thought you'd just pick up any instrument.
Well, it's.
Do you know this song?
No.
Sweet Home Alabama. I nailed it.
I didn't even really hear that.
No. All right.
That's.
Oh, you want to play? He wants to play again? Oh, he's giving it back.
Okay. Further away from
me. Giving it back. Let's play Honeybee right now from Blake Shelton. Talking about the band Perry, they're on the road with Blake. So, what makes a great opening act whenever you decide to take someone out on the road with you?
It depends on, I guess, where you're at in your career. but you want somebody that can bring in, you know, a lot of fans. I mean, you want help out there, especially when you're playing some of those bigger venues. That's why this year Van Perry's coming out. I was like, crap, yes, that'll be great for me to have them out there, because I mean, I still can't believe they've agreed to open for me. You know, that I figure they're one of the bigger artists in country music, but for me, it's that, you know, and for the baby act, I just want somebody that I'm excited about or pulling for, you know.
Who did you open for? Like your biggest, when you got the call, like, holy crap, I get to open for?
Oh, George Strait. It still freaks me out to this day.
Do you remember the first conversation that you guys had on the road, like when he came to you?
George doesn't come to you.
Okay, when you went to him. Okay,
yeah.
okay, you went to him.
Get it right, Bobby.
I remember the first thing he ever said to me. I do remember the first conversation, but I remember the first thing he ever said to me was, we were performing, I think it was America the Beautiful on the CMA Awards. It was it was the first award show after 9/11, and they had like these bleachers set on the stage where all those artists could stand on them, and they're kind of stair-stepped behind each other. And I was standing right next to George Strait, and I was freaking out. And I saw him talking to somebody, and he kind of turned towards me, and he looked up, and he goes, "Damn, I thought you was standing on one of them steps." And I was like, oh my God, he spoke to me. It was the coolest thing ever. So it was like, freaked me out. And for years, that was the only thing he had ever said to me until the tour. And I think we were like 2 days into the tour, and he invited me onto his bus just to say hi and thanks or whatever. And man, he's sitting up there, and he's got big old head of hair, you know, real curly hair. It was just so crazy to see him not with the cowboy hat on and starched jeans and shirt and stuff. He was just up there kind of relaxing, and it's just crazy to see him in his natural environment, you know.
Blake Shelton here.